What's up, party animals? Welcome back to another video. You're probably wondering, what am I munching on here today? Right here I've got a small variety of assorted nuts and seeds. Kind of like what you would feed to a bird or like a farm animal. Anyways, what I'm sure you're actually wondering is, what are we doing in this video here today? Well, you're gonna find out in a couple seconds when I tell you. Today we've got an exciting little beat making challenge in this one. So if you don't know, there's a website that is horrendously and disgracefully now named Plugins for Free. It used to be called VST for Free, which has an infinitely better ring to it and sounds so much better. But website nomenclature aside, this has basically been my go-to place for all sorts of free plugins ever since pretty much the first day I started making beats. But the most important thing that we're gonna be concerned with here today is the randomize feature. So this right here is pretty much the main homepage of the website. It just shows you a bunch of random VSTs right away. But if we click on this randomize feature, it'll generate 10 random plugins that we can kind of choose from. So what I'm gonna do here is just press the randomize button and then download the very first plugin that pops up. I'm gonna do that 5 times, and then whatever 5 plugins we get, we have to make a beat with. Okay, we got Archon VRS1, 2 oscillator digital analog synth. It has 3 stars, which is not great. Oh no, it has 2.5 stars actually. This guy gave it a 1 star, says, sounds pretty bad to me, sadly. This guy says I didn't get any other type than string pads out of this, but those were quite good. So maybe we'll be using this for some string sounds or something. It's also only in 32-bit, so it's probably gonna be a little weird inside FL Studio, but here goes. Okay, we're getting warnings. Okay, second plugin, here goes. Oh no, this one looks really bad. Stutterer. You make a plugin and Stutterer is the name you come up with. This comment's just not even in English. This guy says it's not working here at all. This guy just goes, I've been seeking, now I found. That was in 2009. I don't think anybody's downloaded this plugin for like more than 10 years. That's kind of how the plugin looks as well. Not really off to a great start with those two, but we'll see if this third plugin can do us justice. Oh, dude, what is this? Robo Drum. This is probably one of the ugliest interfaces I've ever seen on any plugin ever. This is horrendous. The video is unavailable, that's great, always a good sign. And the last review was a 2-star review in 2009. So, why are they just showing me like 15-year-old plugins? Okay, honestly, I don't really have much hope for this 4th plugin. Oh, this is a good one. I'm pretty sure this might be actually the only free Juno emulation plugin. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it is. And I've used this plugin before. I think I already have it downloaded. Okay, I'm actually pretty surprised by that one. I think that kind of saved us a little bit. Creekbox. Why would you call a plugin Creekbox? Although it does have 4 stars, so maybe it's fire. It also looks really ugly. I mean, there's some good reviews on here from 2012. Alright, so now we got our 5 plugins. I'm gonna get these things installed on my computer. Hopefully not download any sort of virus or malware of some sort. And then we're gonna get to making this beat here. Okay, we got some bad news. Not unexpected, but the Stutterer plugin just doesn't work at all. It actually just shows up as error when I try to load it up. So this plugin is maybe a virus. I am going to delete it from my computer, and we're just gonna randomize one more time. Okay, that's not what I had in mind. What? Lazy Snake? Dude, these plugins are so weird. It's a virtual electric piano. I mean, I guess that's kind of cool. It also has a proper 4 stars out of 5. Also just realized that Creekbox has the exact same issue. Just shows up as an error. So it looks like, again, we're gonna have to get a different plugin. These should absolutely be taken off the website. These are so bad. Okay, randomize. Acquit XX11. Looks not good at all. Some of the reviews seem kind of newer. 2015, which is not new, but it's newer than 2009. Alright, finally we have all of our plugins loaded up and we're ready to start making this beat. I'm gonna first start off with this little drum, robo drum synth to see if I can get some sort of usable sound out of this. Okay, first thing I gotta say is that these controls are almost impossible to use. All of the knobs like don't turn consistently. It's not an up and down thing, but like sometimes it works up and down. Look at that. So I think I've discovered maybe the worst feature ever on any plugin ever created. If you take this knob right here and turn it up all the way, you get this sound. Why it does that is completely beyond me, but this plugin is just a complete train wreck. So after quite a bit of tinkering and fiddling around with the plugin, I was able to come up with a couple sounds that sound kind of like drum sounds. Little kick, kind of a hi-hat sound, and kind of a snare sound. We also have this. kind of like a weird laser thing. Let's see what kind of drum pattern we can come up with. I think with a little compression and some saturation and stuff on there, that might actually sound really good. I think this one, this Acquit XX11, is the one that people said there were some good bass sounds in, so we're gonna see if we can get some sort of bass line going on with this. I'm actually surprised, none of those were really bad sounds at all. I'm surprised, this plugin has some cool sounds. I think I'm actually gonna come back to this plugin because I really liked some of the sounds in there. Right now, actually, I think I'm gonna pull up this EVM Archon plugin and see if we can get some strings or something in there as kind of like a basis. I think this sound is good, but it just has a little bit too much high end, so I'm gonna find where the filter is. This plugin's definitely better than that RoboCop drum plugin, but it's definitely not very good. Kind of like that better. Alright, so I just changed one of the oscillators and kind of messed around with the filter a little bit, and it sounds like this. That's cool. I have no complaints about this sound, actually. Let's see what this Lazy Snake plugin's all about. I think it's probably trying to sound a lot like the old Casio and Yamaha, like little plastic keyboards. It's kind of the vibe that I get from a lot of these sounds. I like that one though. Let's see how this sounds. I think I actually might take a couple more sounds from this because I think this plugin is honestly not bad. Ooh, the Lazy Snake itself sounds pretty cool. Ooh, this has actually turned out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with this. I'm surprised because I thought this beat would sound totally awful, but it actually sounds kind of cool right now. I think now I'm gonna come back to this Acquit plugin and see what kind of sounds I can get out of it. I'm glad I came back to that one afterwards because the sounds that I found didn't really fit with the new stuff, but I did get a couple little arpeggio type sounds that are kind of playing a little like polyrhythm, I guess you would say. As you may have noticed, I did save the best for last. We got the Tal Uno plugin. Okay, so I think we pretty much have all of the melody components that I want here. As you can hear, there's a lot of stuff going on there, so we have to kind of start thinking about sequencing and laying out the beat and everything now. First thing I'm gonna do is take this drum pattern, and I'm just gonna bounce it to audio so that we can manipulate it and change it and mess with it and everything. Now what I'm gonna do is go to the melody pattern, right click, and then do split by channel. And this just puts everything in a separate pattern so that we can drag it out and mess with them individually in the playlist. All right, I put a hoodie on because it's getting a little chilly in here. Now that we have everything laid out here, I realize that I still need a bass line. I might go with the Tal Uno plugin. Just kind of messed around with some of the knobs and stuff, and we ended up with this little sub bass. This is kind of turning out a lot like some sort of video game music track. So if you're in the market for some video game drum sounds, you should definitely go check out my video game drum kit, which will be linked down in the description below. It's got over 100 plus sounds in it that are perfect for video game music if you're in the market for that. But legitimately, I am going to use some sounds from that kit so I can beef up this drum pattern a little bit. I'm also going to have this little hi-hat thing come in. I also took one of the bass samples that I have in that kit. I made that little bass line. That's going to allow me to just change up the bass line wherever I might want to throughout different portions of the beat. I want to start out with this electric piano sound. And then I think I'll put in this too. And then for these next 4 bars, I really kind of want to bring up the energy a little bit so you know it's like building up to something. So we're going to bring in one of the arpeggios. And then I'm also just going to take the end of this drum loop right here and just cut it like this so it's like a little fill. I think this sounds really cool so far. I was honestly expecting to make a beat where I just used all the plugins one time and then just added my own instruments around it, but this turned out to be actually just a really cool track, and I used pretty much just only all the random plugins that we got, so I'm pretty proud of this. So that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is pretty much going to do it for me and this one here today. I hope you guys enjoyed. This was definitely a fun little challenge, and it's actually been a while since I've done something just only in the DAW, and honestly it feels kind of refreshing to just mess around with synths and use some plugins I've never tried before. Maybe go and give this a shot. You totally can, because all the plugins on VST for free. All the plugins on there are free, as the name suggests. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video, and I will see you all next time.